Hello, everyone. We're fucking back, baby.
Woo!
Yay!
Took like 300 years.
Oh, it's been
Really?
far too fucking long. It really has. Um, we're the Queers at Play. Hi, I will be the host for this. My name is Rue, or some of you know me as Van. And I don't know, do you want to introduce yourself? Should I introduce you? I can't remember how we used to do this. It's been too long.
I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything about what we did. I'm Graham though.
And I'm Mark.
Yeah, we're back. Well, we will be back like proper, but like we really wanted to talk about the Switch 2.
We now finally live in a post Switch 2 reveal world. It's only taken far longer than anybody initially thought for them to reveal it, but here we are.
It was the proper sort of like it's been 84 years.
Yeah. They were properly cock teasing that thing.
So what I'll do is, as backing to our conversation, and for the purposes of those that are watching or listening to this podcast in video format, I'll start the Switch 2 video playing on the screen. So, God, where do we even start with the Switch 2? Oh my God.
I mean, do you like it?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess that's as good a place. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about either of you, but obviously the thing physically has been leaked for since like August, September last year. So
I think, yeah, the actual physical thing of it, but even like way further back in terms of like specs, in terms of the magnetic Joy-Con, all that kind of stuff. Like there was so many things. I would say a good couple of years maybe in terms
yeah,
of stuff coming out.
certainly the tech inside I mean, although some of it's still not confirmed. Obviously, Nintendo haven't confirmed that it's using the Tegra T239 processor or any of that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's probably been a couple of years that these rumors have been circulating. 8-inch screen and, like you said,
Yeah.
magnetic Joy-Cons.
Because I
But
remember, I can't remember what show it was, but remember there was like a Matrix tech demo showing off Unreal Engine 5
yeah, that was
on
it.
Xbox or something. That was a while ago, and then the rumors were like, "Oh yeah, that's running on Switch too, as well." I
Yeah,
was
that
like,
was
"What?"
I think that was
Really?
at GDC in 2023. That apparently Nintendo was showing the Switch 2 hardware running both a 4K 60 frames per second version of Breath of the Wild and the
That's
Unreal
right.
5, Unreal 4, Unreal 5 forgot,
I
version
think
of the
5.
Matrix
Yeah.
demo. So yeah, so that was going back. Well, that's going to be a year and a half ago now.
Jesus.
And the thing
This
is, at that point, we were all like, "Nah, no way! Like, there's absolutely no chance." But the closer and closer it gets, I'm like, "Oh, maybe like." We are starting to believe some of those rumors. Like, I mean, I don't think it's ever going to be the level of like a fucking PS5 or something like that. But like, it's starting to get to the point where you're like, actually, this little thing might be pretty decent in terms of power and stuff. Which, I mean, Nintendo's never really chased that.
Yeah, and not only
Well,
that, but like it's been in terms of all of these tech things and all of that stuff coming out. This has quite literally been Nintendo's worst kept secret yet.
mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
it's there's so much is just leaked.
yeah, um, and pretty much most of those leaks do appear to be completely right on the money.
But it's what everybody wanted. It's what makes most logical sense. I think anybody that thought Nintendo would pull some massive direction change out of nowhere was kidding themselves.
Of course,
And
it
Nintendo's consoles and even their handheld consoles, in my mind, have always come in pairs. You had the NES and the SNES,
oh yeah,
GameCube and N64, Wii and Wii U, Game Boy, Game Boy
yeah, that's right.
Advance, DS, 3DS, Switch 2. Like,
I've never thought of it like that before, but yeah.
But I've always so it'll be what will be more interesting is what they do for the follow up to the Switch 2. But that's a conversation for about 8 years. That's a conversation for about 8 years' time.
Calm down, Mark.
Maybe about a year's time. It'll leak.
Oh my god, yeah.
No, you're right though. Like I'm glad that they've just went with a Switch again, basically. Like it could have been so dangerous just to do something completely different again. So I'm happy with what they've done. It's exactly what I wanted. You've still got people complaining, but
Well, you're never
it's
going to
exactly
please
what I wanted.
everybody, and some
Nah.
people just like to whinge to get clicks. So
Yeah, if it had gimmicks, it would be why are Nintendo not just doing a Switch 2? It's like, oh, there's no pleasing people, but it's exactly what I wanted, and yeah, I'm super happy with it. Plus, I think it looks really nice as well. I don't know what it is that looks so different about to the Switch, but it just looks a lot nicer. It looks a lot more premium.
They've had 8 years to refine their process.
I mean, that's true. I mean, the thing that the first thing I thought, and I did post this in our Discord as well, is it's basically the DS Lite. It's that step up in terms of just sheer aesthetic. It's just like I never thought that the Switch was particularly, but like disgusting to look at all. I mean, the Switch is a beautiful little device, but
especially
like,
the OLED as well.
Yeah, but like the aesthetic design of the Switch 2 is an absolute step up. It just looks so clean and so well designed. So it was giving me sort of like the DS to the DS Lite step up,
but with
in
a
terms of
generational leap in terms of
yeah. But that's purely from the aesthetic side of things.
It is a really nice looking machine, and I really like just like the tiny little bits of extra color under the control stick and on the inner side of the Joy-Con. Like it's like a nothing thing, but it just makes it look so much nicer. I do wish that the analog sticks had maybe like a little light underneath them. I think that would have been cool. But it just looks really nice.
And I like the really solid way that the Joy-Con seem to really clip into the side of it, along with Nintendo's new kind of clap sound effect instead of click. That's a really clever change.
Did you see that video of somebody
remaining familiar?
Yeah, there was somebody on Twitch or something that were like, "Oh, Nintendo have made the Switch 2 sound somebody slapping an ass." I was like, "Yeah, I kind of like the thought of that."
I mean, if anyone's going to do it, right, it'll be Nintendo of all people.
You can just
I'd love it to just be revealed in years' time that that's exactly what the noise was all along.
Well,
they just like recorded.
You know, when they do the in the trailers and the adverts and things, and the presenter does it, and the presenter's just going to turn around and smack their own ass.
Oh, please! That would make my life. I want to see Miyamoto do it. If that's not happening in the next wee while, I'll be happy.
I would love that. That would be so fun, and it would be such a great launch to the console as well. Just like this is for the gays.
Nintendo's for the gays anyway. Like they might as well up it even more.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Name a queer person who doesn't fucking own a Nintendo Switch. Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
I mean, there have been some other kind of like little bits that have come out since the trailer. Like, for instance, the fact that the Joy-Cons can be used as a mouse.
Yeah, I quite like that. I think it's pretty cool. It's a good idea.
I love it in the trailer as well. There's something about it that just looks super cute.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
There is a practicality question to it in terms of, where you would use it as a mouse.
Well, see, I was kind of questioning the same thing, but I love like a city builder game or something like that. And if Planet Zoo comes to Switch 2 with mouse controls, like I played it for about 300 hours on PS5, I will buy it again on Switch 2 just for that.
I don't even mean what kind of games, because I could list out loads of kinds of games where a mouse would be useful, but I'm thinking more the practicality of physically using it. Like, usually I play my Switch sat on a sofa with a Pro controller, so if I'm playing a game that needs a mouse, am I going to have to like drag a little table over to use the mouse, or am I going to have to like lean over awkwardly and try and use the coffee table? I'm sure Nintendo and developers will be coming up with alternative control schemes that.
Oh, there'll be an accessory as well.
Yeah.
There'll be like a Joy-Con mouse mat or something like that.
This is the biggest first world problem that I think I've ever heard.
It is but yeah, like in terms of actual games, like Mario Maker type games, City Builder type games, a lot of people prefer first-person shooters with a mouse. Yeah, there are loads of types of games.
That'll be wild if the Switch 2 is the primary way to be, like, other than PC, to play shooters, especially when like Xbox and PlayStation, they've like dominated that forever. For a Switch 2 to come along and suddenly everybody prefers playing on that will be nuts. Especially like Call of Duty and stuff like that. That's going to be on Nintendo consoles for the next 10 years. If they don't add mouse controls to that, like, that would be crazy.
Metroid Prime 4 with mouse controls?
Don't.
God. And also, in terms of mouse controls, like point-and-click adventure games.
Yeah, I love a point-and-click adventure game.
I know you love a point-and-click adventure game, which is why I thought of it. Yeah, like it does open, and you know full well that Nintendo will come out with a game with the Switch 2.
They will have a use for that in mind.
Yeah, definitely.
If
it's not Mario Maker 3, it'll be some weird shit that they've just concocted for this.
Pikmin would be perfect.
Oh yeah.
Or
Pikmin 5 with mouse controls.
See, I've still not played Pikmin 4, but that's
you're not a big fan of you're not a big fan of that style of game.
No, they stress me out. But like I could see like the game that someone mentioned, because like people like when this kind of thing about the mouse came out, there was like loads of sort of hypotheticals thrown around social media, as there always is. But someone mentioned another code. I'm like, another code with mouse controls would have actually been pretty cool.
Also, just pops into my head some kind of 1-2 switch like minigame compilation that does weird things.
I feel that they'll have that, like a pack-in with another Joy-Con and some weird shitty little game like that.
But they've got to make it, like, if they do something like that, they've got to make it an actual pack-in this time. Because the reason why Wii Sports, was so fucking popular is because it was packed in. And Nintendo Land was packed in with certain iterations of the console. And I miss Nintendo Land, actually. I was talking about it the other day. I like, if there's more, because there's also that button, the C button, that no one knows what that does. The
mystery C button. That also, if you notice in the reveal I'll start that again. In the reveal trailer, it is not labeled as a C button. It's just a blank square.
Hidden.
So if that is a C button, Nintendo are hiding it for the time being, officially.
I think they are. I think it would be weird to have a button that's not got something on it.
What would you refer to? I guess you would refer to it as the square button, maybe. But you would expect there to be a symbol on it.
Because how would you demonstrate, okay, you can press this now? Like visually on the console, like you would need some way to tell the player that that's the button you're supposed to press. So I totally think they're just hiding it. And if it is the C button, then like the rumors are about it being like a online thing where you get a party of up to 12 people or something like that together. There was other videos about it being like a Miiverse. The Miiverse thing is apparently a load of bullshit though, but the little community thing, I could see them doing it.
I mean, community. It does does make sense. I mean, you've literally just touched upon something there, Graham, that if they were to bring back something, even something close to what Miiverse was,
I know, especially now with fucking Elon destroying Twitter, and like I really miss the days before that happened when you would see so much Breath of the Wild videos or just random videos of games, but it barely gets shared anymore because it's such a ball ache to actually do it. Whereas if they actually came back with a new Miiverse type equivalent, I think it would be great, because I think Miiverse became a bit redundant when things could be linked easier to Twitter, because I would rather share with people that I know than complete randoms on Miiverse. So I didn't really care that Miiverse wasn't there on the Switch, but now that Twitter's gone to shit, absolutely, give me another Miiverse. Or a Street Pass.
Yeah.
Fuck
Or,
Street Pass, my god.
Street Pass 2.
God, the fact that I'm still carrying around my 3DS to get Street Pass hits, and I barely get them, if ever.
Some of the games on Street Pass were so good, though.
Yeah, they were.
And there was so much to do. Like, you could check in every day if you got a hit. And there was so much to do just from meeting one person. It was great. Like, they absolutely need to bring Street Pass back.
So good. Street Pass and Miiverse. Like, bring back those two things, Nintendo, and then you can literally just take my wallet for all I care. Like, just
Yeah.
Who are we kidding? You're buying a Switch too.
Oh yeah, fuck it. Like, you're right. I will be buying a Switch too. I mean, I need games reviewer. I need to.
Yeah.
To be able to continue to review games, but
that, and a fan of Nintendo generally.
Oh yeah. I don't have a sleeve tattoo of Nintendo characters or anything.
Or even their entire logo.
Yeah, or their whole logo. Yeah, but yeah, I think in terms of this, if the C button is a community button and that community is anything like Miiverse, then I am sold on that.
I wonder if any of it will be linked to the playtest thing last year. Or is that just a completely separate game? It feels odd that they would trial a game like that, because they've just never done that before. It makes me want to think it's a
felt like
feature.
It felt like it was something very bare bones that was going to become something else.
Yeah. Did any of you get access to it?
Yeah,
I did not.
Yeah. I really liked it. There was it was weird, and I didn't really understand what was happening most of the time, and I was like, this feels Minecraft, but not Minecraft. I didn't really understand what was going on, but I thought there were some cool things in it. It was clunky as fuck, and
it was super clunky.
It looked really bad as well.
100% was not obviously Nintendo's usual level of polish for that kind of thing.
Definitely.
So it was very bare bones. Like, we're testing infrastructure for massively multiplayer, and this might become something, but it's so early on that.
But I mean, I think it would be really cool if they made that whatever the C button is, and you just jumped into. It would almost be like PlayStation Home, I guess, whenever that was a thing.
Oh my god!
It's just this little community, and it's a little world that they've created that they can share things on, and you can join other people's games and stuff like that. That would be cool.
That feels a little bit like wishful thinking.
It does, but I just kind of think there must be something that they're hiding in the actual console itself, because we've never obviously seen what it does when it's turned on. So I feel that it must be some extra little thing kicking about somewhere.
Well, we've got 2 and a bit months to wait to find out.
Yeah,
it feels like ages.
So second of April is the direct for it, isn't it?
Yeah, I've already booked out my work calendar in the afternoon. Just made up some kind of reason.
For the likely time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm training.
And Ruben and I have also both applied to go to the Switch 2 event.
Yeah.
Because you just got to, right?
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
Did you go to the Switch one?
Ruben? I did, yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. I applied, but I didn't get tickets. Or I didn't get a ticket. I didn't get picked.
The only one I've ever been to was the 3DS one, which was good. All right.
I mean, I've been a games journalist for however long, haven't I? So these things
yeah,
happen.
I mean, you might get access to the event anyway, even without being picked.
Oh, true. Although, I Although that being said, like I was going to say, maybe I'd have to like battle royale it with some other people at the site I write for, but like I seem to be the most excited about Switch 2 amongst that particular crowd, but that's that's by the by. Um, for me, basically, the fact it's a bigger, prettier Switch that will play the Switch games that I still have a massive backlog of.
Oh, that's
Um,
such a big deal.
is yeah, that's all I need really. That's all I want
Yeah.
from this.
Do you think will either of you keep your Switch? Because for me, I don't feel I need to have one now.
I will
Ah,
keep it, but only because I have a kind of little collection of all my old
Yeah,
Nintendo
you like keeping
consoles.
old consoles. Yeah.
I've not
So
decided.
my OLED will probably move onto my shelf over here with all my other retro in inverted commas consoles.
Fuck off.
Oh, what a wee shame. You'll retire it.
Yeah.
We
Well,
are
the
not.
Switch isn't retro, but like obviously the SNES is and the N64 is, and you'd probably classify even the GameCube and Wii now as retro.
Oh
I was
yeah.
gonna say we are not referring to the Switch OLED as retro. That's not fucking happening.
The OG
Not yet.
Switch, we could say retro.
But I am
Uh,
also running out of space on that shelf now, so I'm gonna have to move things around. First world problems.
oh yeah, yeah.
I'm actually dreading the date that it comes out because I'm going to have to drill into my wall because all my plugs are behind my wall. What I mean, I'm not going to do it. My friend's going to do it, but I'll have to actually like cut open my wall to get the plug out and to get the cables out.
There's an awful lot of first world problems to do
Yeah.
with this Switch too.
It is, and I was hoping I wouldn't have to do that because I was like, surely I can just keep the same plug. It'll use the same plug, surely. And then there was, I think it was Laura Kate Dale that
Needs
said
more
that
power.
she'd found that it's and that's one of the things that were lending itself to more rumors about it being a bit more powerful, is that it does need a better plug. So I'm like, great, I'm gonna have to cut my wall just to get a plug.
But it'll be worth it for the Switch too. Actually, that's something I wanted to mention as well. I could not express to you two how relieved I was that they simply called it Switch 2.
Yeah.
Same,
I was expecting something
absolute same.
fucking stupid. But
I kind of just figured they can't be this stupid again. Like
Yeah, they
they'll
weren't going to
know.
make that. They weren't going to make that mistake again.
Yeah,
I'm glad that they named it 2, but I was also convinced they were going to name it 2.
yeah. So was I. Like it would have been Super Nintendo Switch it would have sounded cool, but I think to avoid the Wii scenario and the Wii U, they absolutely needed to make it a sequel thing because people understand that. They understand it with phones, they understand it with PlayStations, not
They don't
Xboxes, I
understand
guess,
it with
but
Xboxes.
no.
that's
But
because
even though,
Microsoft don't.
No.
well, yeah. But even with the Xbox though, new ones come out and people still know that it's a new console. So I don't know why Nintendo fuck it up so much when it comes to that kind of thing.
You say
I think
But
that,
yeah,
but
I
like
think the trouble.
Microsoft really fucked it with the most recent generation.
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, in my eyes, kind of so was PlayStation, but
Well,
yeah,
I think Microsoft. The trouble is they'd fucked it with the previous generation, and that bled into the next generation.
Fair.
This
the
is a whole other
Xbox One
discussion.
destroyed things. Yeah,
Um. But yeah, I think everyone has dissected what went wrong with the Wii U, and obviously part of the problem was it looked too much like the original Wii, except there was a tablet. It wasn't
yeah,
communicated well enough that it was. Even if they'd have called it Wii HD, even that probably
hmm
would have made more sense to a lot of people than Wii U.
yeah. Or if they'd shown the console in the actual original trailer, or
Yeah.
not shown a new Super Mario Brothers game, which was on the Wii anyway, or not showed Wii remotes. Like there was so many. I don't know if any of you have read Reggie's book. It's like one of the only books I've read in my life. And like he kind of casually glosses over the Wii U bit. There's only like a little bit where he talks about the Wii U, but basically it's saying exactly that. It's saying like from the very first day that they announced it, the mistakes were left, right, and center, and they were like, "Oh shit, how
Well,
are we
have
going to
you
pull
have
this
you
back?"
have you watched his reveal of it though? Because I watched it quite quite recently. We've gone way off topic here, but
That's right.
I watched it recently, and just watching Reggie trying to explain what the name meant. And he's like, well, you've heard of Wii, which is about us, and now we're making it all about you. So introducing the Wii U. And I'm like, what does these words even mean?
It didn't even make any sense. And like you get the impression that he doesn't even believe it as well.
No,
He's just
no,
like,
he
no,
wasn't.
listen.
But he's been overruled by probably Nintendo of Japan, who've come up with the name. And if they'd have called it the Wii HD, if they'd have called it the Wii 2, I think it would have made a lot of sense to people. But they
It
didn't.
would have done. They should have listened to him. It like in the book he talks about the fact that he was the one that convinced Iwata to put Wii Sports as a pack-in to the Wii. And like I think that was fundamental to the Wii
But
being
it
as big
wasn't
as
a
it is.
pack-in in Japan, was it?
It wasn't. No. Well, the compromise was that okay, you can do that in the Americas and Europe, but Japan, they're not going to want a pack-in like that. So that was the compromise. But that was probably one of the big reasons that the Wii did so well. So he knows what he's talking about. So yeah, I'm ultimately glad that they've decided to go Switch 2.
Yeah, and the logos. It's just the Switch. It's just the Switch icon with a 2 next to it. It's
We could have all done that in Paint in
Yeah,
like 2 minutes.
yeah. I mean, it's not a. But the thing is, I think it's as much of a statement of intent as the rest of the design of the console in general. It's clean. It's simple. It does what it needs to do.
It's played safe so that nobody's confused.
Yeah,
But it's also confident.
Oh yeah, for sure. They fucking know. Like this thing is gonna sell fucking gangbusters, and they know
And you know what? It's so weird to be going into a new generation of console as a Nintendo fan and feeling confident that this console's actually going to smash it, because Nintendo are so up and down with each generation to the next that you never know what the fuck's going to happen. So to be in a position that you're like, do you know what, actually, they're kind of going to smash it. There's third parties falling over themselves in order to put their games on it, which never happens. I don't think Nintendo ever had this good third party support. Like some of the list of the rumored games that are coming to Switch 2 are just ridiculous. We're at the point that you're just like, what other games could actually be announced that will genuinely make me go, what the fuck? Like if Halo isn't one of them, like, and that's one of the rumors, like what else can there be that will make you genuinely think, how on earth is this happening?
Yeah, I mean, if you think all the way back to the GameCube, that was probably their last, what I would call, but certainly before the Switch anyway, their sort of last mainstream gamer console.
Yeah.
As much as there ever was one. And that, didn't work out particularly well for them. And then they released the Wii, and yes, I was excited for the Wii as a fan, but I didn't have a huge amount of faith that it was going to do what it did at launch. And then everyone knows what happened with the Wii U. And then by the time you get to the Switch, you're like, well, this could go either way. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
But
like
now,
I fully get. I remember all the like posts about the forums where people were saying, "Nah, the Switch is going to absolutely bomb." And I can see why people were saying that, because why wouldn't you? Because Nintendo have got such a patchy history when it comes to actually doing well.
And of course, you had the issue of they're using an NVIDIA Tegra processor that came out like 3 years ago. How designed for tablets? How is this gonna be a viable gaming platform for the next 6 or 7 years? I mean, they managed it, and
it just proves everything about like what Iwata said years and years ago. I think during when the Wii was being announced and stuff, that if people keep chasing graphics and that kind of stuff, they're going to reach a plateau and it's never going to go from there. So they stepped way back from that, and they've basically just proved that.
Yeah,
with
because
the games they've made. And
PlayStation and Xbox are at a plateau. It costs exponentially more money to develop games that take full use of the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series 6 for barely moving the needle visibly between the previous generation. So that Nintendo are now releasing a console that, based on rumors, based on specs that we believe are true, are going to hit that PlayStation 4 base, at least.
And PlayStation 4 base is more than good enough as well.
Exactly.
Like that
absolutely.
game's the one that's got Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima and all of those stunning looking games. For anybody to say that the Switch 2 isn't good enough because it's only PS4 is an idiot.
I mean, I'm still playing a lot of PS4 games now because they are still fucking stunning. And this is, I mean, this is the
still
thing.
also playing a lot of 3DS games.
Oh, I'm still playing and DS games. I basically just don't let go of the past. So
Stunning in their own way.
I mean, the thing is, and it's completely right. The Nintendo have, and there's a reason why, even on the consoles that aren't seen as stellar. So, although a lot of people have a really soft spot for it, the GameCube, like it didn't do very well. Let's put it that way. But so many of its games are seen and are held in such high regard because of what they did.
You also have to remember that the GameCube was Nintendo's last "we're going to compete on performance" console. It had the same or higher level of performance than the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox. You know, it was there.
And that just shows that just having a powerful console is just not good enough. Like you obviously need way more than that.
And the Switch 2, by all accounts, is going to be probably their biggest leap in performance, possibly ever. Possibly at least since.
I mean, SNES to N64, I guess. Yeah, but
I'm thinking in the 3D era because that was a bit different. That was a bit of a different Switch, but at least as big, if not bigger, than the N64 to GameCube. Because certainly, GameCube to Wii, not that much of a jump.
No.
Yes, Wii to Wii U was a jump, but that was more about pixel count.
Yeah.
Like yes, it could display games in HD, and it was more powerful, but it wasn't the leap that I think we're going to see here. And obviously, Switch, Wii U to Switch was nearly a sidestep, much like GameCube to Wii.
Definitely.
Switch to Switch 2, I think, is going to be a huge leap.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested to see how Nintendo themselves are going to take advantage of that.
Oh, because if anybody could get the most out of their consoles, it's Nintendo. Like, I can't wait to see whatever the next 3D Mario looks like or whatever the next big Zelda looks like. Like, they're just going to make so much use out of that. I mean, I still firmly believe that Mario Kart 8 is one of the most beautiful games of all of the consoles. And that's like over 10 years old now. So to think what they're actually going to do with a PS4 level type console, it's going to be amazing.
What
Speaking of which,
going to do?
What are Monolith Soft going to do?
My
Jesus.
God. I mean, I've been playing.
I don't even like Xenoblade games, but
same.
But the thing is, they are fucking stunning. Like,
oh, they are, especially X. Like the world in Xenoblade X is just incredible. I think that looks wildly better than any of the other Xenoblade games. It's the best looking one by far. But they're so good at designing a world as well. I really kind of hope that they don't put out like Xenoblade 4. I'd like to see them work on something completely different.
I feel like, I mean, I don't know a lot, but I feel like 3 wrapped up kind of a bit of an overarching story. Is that right? Like it kind of brought everything together a little bit.
I lasted about 10 hours and like I've tried so hard. I've bought every single Xenoblade game there is and I try and there's just something about it that never clicks with me. It clicked with X for a while. I played a good 80 hours of it, but the others I struggle to get past about 10. So yeah, maybe it did, and maybe now's the time to go on to something completely different. Yeah.
I wonder what Retro are going to do. You know, we haven't really talked about Metroid Prime 4, and I'm desperate to, so I'm going to.
Yeah.
You know,
do you think that's going to be on Switch too, though? I know it'll definitely be on Switch, but
it's definitely on Switch. I really hope they're going to go with a cross-platform, cross-generation release with that, and that although it might not take advantage of everything the Switch 2 has to offer, if it scales performance-wise, shadows, fog, possibly a little bit of ray tracing.
Yeah.
I think there's texturing improvements. That I really like to see that have Switch 2 improvements, even if it doesn't take full advantage. And I can't imagine. I really hope anyway that they haven't had Retro put all of that effort in after starting again from scratch to then just leave it at 4.
Yeah, that's true. I am interested to see what they do with that with other games though. Like how many games are we going to get that's going to be like a PS5 situation? Because PS5 really doesn't have that many PS5 only games. There were so many games that like straddled between the two. I wonder how many we're going to get on the same kind of level as just being this can run on Switch and Switch 2, and it just looks a little better on Switch 2.
I mean,
And I kind of hope not many.
yeah, I mean,
think-
I hope we don't have a 3DS new 3DS situation again,
Yeah.
where there's
don't think
like
that'll be the case.
because I'm pretty sure you can count the new 3DS games on one hand.
But that was more of a that
was
wasn't
an
a new
upgraded
generation, wasn't
3DS,
it? That was
yeah.
that was always a 3DS with a little bit more oomph. It was never meant to be a next generation 3DS. But I think
Yeah.
we will see a full next generation from Nintendo. I don't think there will be that many cross generation games. There are rumors of a Switch One focused direct possibly coming
Oh, that's
next
right.
month,
Which it isn't beyond the realms of possibility. Like we still don't know much about what other Switch games are coming.
yeah, and I think they'll still support Switch for probably the most of the rest of this year. They do have 150 million of them
Yeah.
in people's hands.
Yeah.
They'd
And
be
there was
foolish
another-
not to.
There was another rumor about another game yet to be announced that is kind of well loved but more niche. So maybe along the lines of Star Fox or Kirby or something Fire Emblem. I don't know.
Kid Icarus.
What did you say?
Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus. Yeah, that would
Ah.
fall. That would definitely fall into the very niche but beloved category.
Especially
Kid
after
Icarus on
Uprising.
Switch 2 with mouse controls though.
Well, the rumor is that it's a new game, not a remaster or a port, so it wouldn't be Uprising if it
Ooh.
was
I-
Icarus.
I'd be happier with a newer game. Uprising was great, but it would be cool to get a new one.
We had so much Fire Emblem on the Switch. I
There
mean, I
was
know
a
we
lot.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have that much actually. When I think about it, it was basically just
mean, there was,
three
like-
houses, Engage, the two Fire Emblem
Warriors.
games.
Yeah. It feels like a lot,
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
I mean, I love Fire Emblem, but I hope it's not another Fire Emblem. Were there not
That's-
rumors about like a Kirby Planet Robobot
remaster.
version
Yeah,
or something?
yeah. There was a rumors of a HD port of Robobot. You know, I'd love the February Direct to have the full reveal. You know, a full dive into Metroid Prime 4 with a Metroid Prime 2 Shadow Drop.
I mean,
Why
I
not?
feel that I still do feel that they're sitting on Metroid 2 and 3, and they're potentially still also sitting on Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And I wonder if they'll just use those games to just shove out this year on Switch only, whilst
They
people
might
wait
be,
for Switch
but
2.
there might also be an element of they want to keep some of these games for filling in the Switch 2 release calendar because
Yeah.
they don't want, because everything that's on Switch is backwards compatible and still available, with the exception of Mario All Stars 3D. They can't re-release anything that's already been released on the Switch because there's little improvement to be had there.
Yeah, you're right.
For a port, so they're going to want things like Twilight Princess or Wind Waker or whatever other GameCube games or Wii games are lying in the wings to fill in the gaps, much like they did with Wii U games on the Switch.
And maybe that's why they've held on to Wind Waker and Twilight Princess for so long. Maybe they're bumping it up visually.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how Wind Waker HD gets even prettier, but maybe they're spending time bumping those up a little bit, and then they will just chuck it out on Switch 2.
And it's also why I still don't think you'll see GameCube or Wii on the Virtual Console, because they can still stick those on as full price games and sell them, because people will clearly pay 50-60 quid for them.
I think we might get
Numbers.
DS games, but yeah, I kind of agree that I don't think they'll just randomly add. It'd be great if they did, but I don't think they'll just add GameCube and Wii.
I mean, we haven't, in terms of games, actually, we've not even discussed the one that was shown a little bit in the trailer.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
I mean, so a lot of people have looked at it and said, "Oh yeah, it's a new Mario Kart," and I was kind of in the camp where I was like, I had to watch the trailer a couple of times before I even realized it was a new Mario Kart, which I don't know if that is saying to me that I don't think it looks all that much different or
It
all that much
was.
better. Like, how much of a step up is Mario Kart actually going to be visually?
It was. I think the issue with it partly was it was shown for like 10 seconds. It was shown running on the screen of the Switch rather than
Yeah,
direct feed footage. And it was clearly meant as a tease of intent rather than a
completely.
Yeah.
look at here's all the new features for Mario Kart. They're saving that for the direct in April. I'm absolutely sure of
It
it.
did make me think back to when we first saw the Wii U though, and how I was saying, well, the game that they showed off there was New Super Mario Brothers U, which everybody knew that game from being on Wii, and now it's just another one that looks very similar. And it made me kind of think, I wonder if Mario Kart was the best one to tease there, because a lot of people would look at it and go, that's just Mario Kart 8 again. Like, is there going to be confusion around that? But hopefully, like, we'll see shitloads of it in April, and we'll blatantly see, right, this is an absolute new Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, actually, like you mentioned New Super Mario Brothers. There hasn't been a new Super Mario Brothers game in a
Good.
while.
What do you
I
mean?
guess one
We just had
one
Mario Brothers Wonder.
That
was
wasn't
that
a
long
that
ago.
wasn't a new Super Mario Brothers game.
But I think they've moved on from new
Yeah, I
Super
think they're
Mario
done.
Brothers.
I think we'll
think-
get a Mario Wonder 2 at least.
Yeah,
Oh, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed New Super Mario Brothers though.
I think Wonder is their new preferred art style for
Definitely.
kind of 3D games. I think that's it now.
Sure, but
When you
like
compare the two,
I mean, no, art style wise, I grant you, but like I wouldn't mind another kind of simpler Mario game, because the thing about Wonder, as much as I really enjoyed it, and I did really enjoy it, like because it was new mechanics all the time, constantly new changes, blah 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 blah. Like it made me kind of like go, I really liked the really simple. Let's go jump on a turtle, yay flagpole. Like I kind of miss, and I mean, it probably is because I've been playing New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe recently, but like,
But maybe
I-
that's also part of the issue is you know on the Switch you've got Mario Brothers 3, Mario World,
yeah,
new Super Mario U Deluxe. Like that game is already available on Switch multiple
yeah,
times.
yeah, that's fair. That is actually fair.
it'd be nice if they maybe did like a smaller scale 2D Mario that maybe wasn't necessarily even made directly by Nintendo. They did like a Zelda thing where another company kind of made a smaller 2D one.
Let Rockstar do it.
Rockstar.
I was sitting here, I was just thinking, what would be the wildest
Least
possible?
likely. Can you?
Uh,
I think a Mario platformer is the one thing that Nintendo would never let go of.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like they'll hand off a Zelda game, they'll hand off Metroid game. I don't think they would ever hand off a Mario platformer.
I don't think Miyamoto specifically would hand off a Mario
No.
platformer. But I'm with you, Graham, in that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the big ones, because you mentioned like the next Zelda, the next Mario.
I'm just really interested to know what the next Zelda art style is going to be.
I think they'll go a completely different direction.
I think they
once
will
again.
as well.
They might even go for realism because they've not really done that since, I guess, Twilight Princess. That was the most realistic-y kind of art style that there was. So maybe they'll go straight to that because they've done
Maybe.
so many other art styles with
And
Zelda.
they have the power to pull it off in a more.
They'll revive the Wii U tech demo Zelda, which I hated, by the way. I did not like
didn't
that
either.
whatsoever.
Or the GameCube one.
Oh yeah, that was a weird one.
Everyone was like so angry when they then re-revealed it as.
I know. I didn't have the internet back then as a kid, teenager, but I wish I did because I would have loved to see the outrage as something like that changes from that trailer to Wind Waker. It would be so funny.
Yeah, everyone was. And then they were, all proven wrong because it turned out to be a phenomenal game. It has its issues, sure, but it's still a phenomenal game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wind Waker's amazing.
It could have done with a couple more dungeons and maybe a little bit less sailing for
Triforce hunting.
yeah, a little bit less that for my personal taste, but it's stunning to look at. It's timeless.
And I would still play it again in a heartbeat if it just gets dropped tomorrow on Switch. Absolutely, I'm buying it. Wouldn't necessarily be arsed about playing Twilight Princess again. I like it, but it's not up there. But Wind Waker, happily.
I mean, I think I would be. I think I'd be the other way around, but not because I prefer Twilight Princess over Wind Waker, but because it's been longer since I last played Twilight Princess.
True. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Yeah.
Because I've played Wind Waker a lot more because I still have my GameCube and I still have my copy of Wind Waker. So I've played Wind Waker a lot more recently than I've played Twilight Princess. So I think I would be very inclined to play Twilight Princess.
Okay, so quick question for you both. What relatively dormant Nintendo franchise would you like to see come back for Switch 2?
I feel like there's not many left because they really did so much with Switch in terms of the games. But I don't know. I guess everybody would maybe hope for like F-Zero or Star Fox. I've never really cared for Star Fox myself. I don't think there's many dormant things that are left that would super excite me.
No, because a lot of the older Nintendo properties were and still are just far too simple for a modern audience, like Balloon Fight, for instance. And also, I wouldn't want to see Balloon Fight come back.
I thought you would jump straight on Kid Icarus.
See, I do.
Yeah, that seems like a good one.
A Kid Icarus game would be amazing. Especially since we've seen what a good Kid Icarus game can be, because we obviously had Uprising on 3DS.
And Sakurai's probably free right now.
True.
He's been working on something for He's been working on something for a couple of years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Slightly contrary to Graham, I would like to see a new Star Fox game, either in the form of a new Star Fox Adventures game,
Same,
or a straight out. I'd love them to kind of reinvent the traditional Star Fox formula a little bit, maybe rather than discrete levels like a single planet-wide conflict, or the ability to fly kind of real time between planets, or something bigger than they've ever done before with it.
If they were going to do anything that would interest me a lot about Star Fox, I'd like to see them do like a Mass Effect type thing, like a big RPG with lots of different characters, lots of different races and planets, and that you could fly between those two planets, and just in a kind of, I was going to say in a Starfield kind of way, but like there's about 3 loading screens before you get to space in that game. But one that you could just kind of do that. I like that. I'd be excited about that, because Adventures is one of the only Star Fox I like.
Something more akin to kind of not the gameplay wise, but No Man's Sky, but with a storyline.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm just trying to think of classic Nintendo properties.
I feel like there's ones that I think will make people lose their shit, and I think if they made a brand new like Golden Sun or something like that, I think people would love that.
Yeah, people would lose their shit for Golden Sun.
True,
but we're getting to the point where there's not. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I didn't really care hugely about it.
But yeah, it was partly frustrating because of the limitations of the Game Boy Advance, though, wasn't it?
True.
If they were going to make a modern RPG Golden Sun game, I think it wouldn't have the same frustrations now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Why can't
I could see Monolith Soft maybe doing Golden Sun.
True. It depends on when where the IP lies, because obviously it was developed by
Mm.
Camelot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But Golden Sun would be great. Actually, that's a really good call.
They could bring back Earthbound / Mother.
I think we can safely assume that's never going to happen.
Oh, I mean, agreed. It's not going to happen, but you know, that is one of those perennial hopeful thinking announcements.
You know what? How about, this is wild, by the way. How about if they did on Switch 2 as a launch title a sequel to Mario is Missing?
Wow, that is that would be surprising in the same way that the launch title for GameCube was Luigi's Mansion. It's a similar
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
It's just this obscure launch game for no reason.
Yeah. But if anyone's going to do it, it'd be Nintendo, though.
That is true.
Just have a game just like, and here's this.
Because that's the thing, they've got so many things that they could pick from and just go, do you know what? We fancy reviving this decades-old game that barely anybody's heard about. I mean, they did it with Famicom Detective Club recently.
Yeah.
Like
That is true.
it would be cool.
That
Yeah,
was
it would
an
be cool.
incredibly deep cut.
That really was.
And for that to be such a mature-oriented storyline as well was incredibly surprising from Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, did either of you play it?
I haven't, no.
No, it's been on my
I
list
just
for a
finished
while.
it. I just finished it a couple of weeks ago. It is really good. It's not as mature as I thought it was going to be, to be honest. I don't think it's as dark as it kind of makes out, and it is really good. But yeah, I'd definitely like to see them tap into something super super weird like that.
Oh my god. But it's just it's kind of what you were saying earlier, Graham. They've already brought back a lot in the Switch generation from previous consoles or revived, like resurrected franchises that have been dead for a while. Which is why I'm sitting here really struggling to think of things they've not brought back.
It's not even just like, oh, what like old things can they bring back? It's like some of the bigger games that they had on Switch, they've gotten to a point where I'm just like, what could they possibly even do with the next? Like, what can they do with Smash? Like that kind of stuff. I'm just like, they've gotten to a point with these games now. I feel Animal Crossing was kind of like that. I know a lot of people had issues with New Horizons, but like a lot of their games are at a point you're like, I genuinely have no idea where they'll go with this at all, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Like it would be super surprising whatever they do. But
top Smash Ultimate. I mean, I'm not a big Smash fan, but it's what Nintendo does well, and I'm sure they will pull something out of the bag that completely surprises everybody. But when you're sat looking at everything that makes up Smash Ultimate, you're like, okay,
it's insane.
Unless they do with Smash Ultimate what they did with Mario Kart 8 and release it as a complete package on the Switch 2 with, you know, a slight improvement in graphics.
New characters and new stages and stuff like that. I think one of two ways for Smash that I would like is what you're just saying there. Just make it Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think people will be happy. Or I've always wanted like a Kingdom Hearts type Smash game where you've got a big adventure RPG, but then the battles in the game are just standard Smash battles, pretty much. I would love to see them do something like that. But yeah, who knows? Smash could go anyway.
Yeah, and the thing is, like if they do bring back Smash, I know they'll do a good job of bringing back Smash. But like, Ultimate really is a definitive Smash game.
I kind of feel like I'm such a big Smash boy that I think I'd feel kind of disappointed with whatever they come out with next because I just know they're going to scale it back. And I'm one of the sort of people that's like, put 200 characters in for all I care. The more the merrier, which I know is an absolute nightmare to make. But I would be kind of sad if the next Smash came out and there was like half the characters that were there. And people want that, but not me. I just want them to do more. I just want Mario Kart Deluxe, basically.
The thing is, though, like Smash Ultimate, as it stands, is a fucking licensing nightmare.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
Like the amount of companies that have had to sign off on things in Smash Ultimate is just insane.
But
The other adapting, well, sort of cannibalizing their own game in a way because of that level of completeness that Ultimate has, and the fact that Switch 2 is backwards compatible with little to no compromises.
yeah,
Like their previous consoles have always had, or some of their previous consoles have had a level of backwards compatibility, but there's always been some level of compromise that comes with that. You know, the Wii was backwards compatible, but the GameCube didn't have online play, and the Wii U was backwards compatible, but Wii games weren't in HD. We're like at a level where the backwards compatibility doesn't require a trade-off anymore, particularly. So, yeah.
I don't feel there'll be much of a trade-off when it comes. Like, I think the Switch 2 will come out, and I could play Smash Ultimate, and it would still feel like there's not any compromises made now that it's on a new console.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
there won't be that compromise that you've had with backwards compatibility on previous Nintendo consoles, and perhaps that means that does free them to do something a bit scaled back with, and different with Smash, because Ultimate is still there and playable.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe it means exactly like that. Like, why bother doing an Ultimate Deluxe Edition on Switch, on Switch 2, because Ultimate is right there on
What I could
Switch.
see what they might do is re-release it, repackage it, and just include all the DLC.
Yeah, that seems like an obvious thing for them to. And to be honest, I'm surprised they've not done that already and just had all of the DLC characters in it.
And or as another option, do with Smash Ultimate what a lot of PlayStation 4 and 5 games have done, where there is that upgrade.
Yeah, $10 upgrade for some 4K output, or you know.
Yeah,
I remember
whatever.
some of the earlier rumors. Don't know, maybe about a year ago, were that there was going to be that kind of thing, but there was games that would give you a free update. And I remember Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom being there. There was a couple of others. It feels very not Nintendo to do that. I feel like Nintendo are going to charge us something, if that even is a thing that happens. And to be honest, I don't really care if it is or it isn't. Like, I'm not really that fussed about
That might
there being.
even be the kind of thing that they bundle into a new tier, or the expansion pack tier of Switch Online. Like Switch
That
Online
would be a good
members get
shout.
this upgrade for free, but for everyone else it's like $5 or whatever, or £5.
Yeah. That's an interesting point, though. It'd be good to see what they do to evolve Switch Online, because I actually think Switch Online is pretty good now. Like, for what you get, for what you pay, especially if you're in a family group, what you get out of Switch Online is pretty good. So I wonder what they're going to do with that. What extra things they're going to add into that to make it even better.
I think the mouse control will allow them to add DS games, and maybe even 3DS
For sure.
games.
Yeah.
They could, because I don't think they'll, in the same way that they're kind of cannibalized, they might cannibalize GameCube sales of things that they can sell at full price. They couldn't do that with DS or 3DS games. So short of ones that get a full-on remake, they could even shuffle Game Boy Advance down into the main tier and put DS and 3DS in the expansion pack tier or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not really going to remake a DS game on Switch or Switch 2, because it is fundamentally, it functions as a DS game. But you could probably put them onto a service to play them as just DS games, and it would work fine.
I mean, the closest we've seen in terms of that was the Dominus collection, wasn't it? The Castlevania.
Yeah,
definitely.
Which just displayed the touchscreen in a different place, but it wasn't a touchscreen. But you know,
which sort of worked because of the way that the Dominus collection, the Castlevania games, employed the second screen, and it would work for an awful lot of DS games that just use
just a map.
A map or an info display. But
although I think there was an extra thing that they did with that, though, because there's shapes that you have to draw to, like, finally kill a
Yeah,
boss or
yeah.
something, and I'm sure they added controls to that.
They did, yeah. It wasn't just emulate like a direct emulator. There was
Yeah.
just the ability to like use the stick to, or button presses maybe to, yeah, it was button presses I think to draw the shape essentially. So, and also they did. I think one of the layouts showed two different versions of the bottom screen at the same time. So you had like the main screen and then two information displays on the right. So.
Or like a different page that might be on the bottom screen.
I think it showed you like both the map and the info screen and the game.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like there's so much they could do with DS games like that then.
So, as a means of kind
been
of
rambling.
Yeah, we've been so yeah, we've basically hit an hour. So, do we have any final thoughts on the Switch 2? Well, based on what we currently know, I guess, because there's more to come.
Based on what we know, I can't wait, and I'm very desperate to get a launch day pre-order in.
Yeah, same. I'm still holding out hope that there's some extra little secret about it that they're not telling us, because there's no secret in the physical hardware. It is what we expected.
The secret source will be in the software.
Yeah, I feel that there's going to be something. They'll have overhauled the UI in some capacity, but I think there's going to be something else there that makes.
It will be that C button. Whatever that C button does, it will be the thing that makes us go, okay.
I think so, because there's a reason they've hidden that. They could have easily showed it as a C button and still caused us to speculate, oh, what's that button? But I feel that there's a reason that they've hidden it. Maybe like the button actually looks like the thing that it actually is. Maybe it's not a C or whatever. Maybe it's a little icon or something like that, and the icon sort of gives away what the feature is. Maybe that's why they've hidden it, but I feel that there's a reason they've deliberately not shown what that button is.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I think it's probably got the same thing going on with it as the home button. Because the home button is very obvious what it does. So I think them removing any iconography from that button is very purposeful.
Yeah, I've not thought about this before. It has to be a shape. It has to be a shape that gives away what it is. You're right. The home button's a good example of that.
Watch it just be like the most mundane, pointless thing.
Like pressing it, like I don't know, like because it's called the C button. I'm just riffing on like maybe like you press it and it just sends a coffee to Miyamoto.
I was literally going to say the same thing.
And this that's all it does, and just Miyamoto is going to be inundated with like millions of coffees. But like you two, I'm very excited about this, as I always am about new Nintendo hardware.
I think I've been ready for a new Nintendo generation for quite a while. I think a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Last year they released some good games, but
I just didn't play
mostly
much.
Ports. They were mostly remasters or remakes. So yeah, ready for something new now.
Yeah, same. But
and
I'm glad it's not happening.
That's the longest generation there's been, so it's about time.
Oh yeah. But then again, it's not felt
for consoles. Yeah, arguably the original Game Boy generation was longer, but
was it?
Yeah, but that was in production for like 30 billion years. So
yeah,
that's not a fair comparison.
When did Game Boy Advance come out? Like 2001
or 2002?
Yeah, 2001, 2002, and or maybe even 2000. And the Game Boy came out in like 1988.
88 or 89. So.
And admittedly, there was a Game Boy Color in there, but that wasn't a generational leap. That was a
totally.
Here's the Game Boy, and we've added a color screen to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's time. It's time to move on from the Switch.
But exciting times, and also so exciting that we're back as well.
I know. Honestly, the podcast we do after April, we're going to be talking for hours.
Yeah, I mean, we could just do it live react.
That would be fun.
That would be fun, depending on
times
and work schedules.
Yeah, it feels like one of these things that's going to be a 3 p.m. type
Mhm.
deal.
Yeah, that is
And-
that is true.
I mean, I could
Yeah.
take a cheeky afternoon off work, but
As much as I blocked out my
in fact,
calendar.
I might well do. But you know,
I still have to move my mouse about every now and again to make it look like I'm.
But yeah, so that's it from us. Thank you for joining us for this Nintendo Switch 2 announcement special. It's been amazing. And actually, let's keep that going. There you go. Yeah, we'll be back with. Well, hopefully, we'll be back doing this more regularly now. Now that we've broken the seal on it again.
Yes.
well, Microsoft have a presentation next week, so you know
Oh, I mean, who knows what Switch 2 games are going to be in there?
there could well be Switch 2 games.
They could. I mean, a lot of people have said like this is one of the reasons they think Nintendo have just done this little thing with a big thing later, because it gives third parties the chance to go, right, yep, this is on Switch 2. That'll be nice when that happens. When we get trailers for third parties and there's no question it's on Switch 2. There's the icon there and we know. So it'll be nice to see when that starts happening. And we'll have lots to talk about in other podcasts.
Awesome. So thank you everyone for listening, for watching. Keep an eye on social media. We're now on Bluesky, which I still need to update with visuals and stuff. But yeah, we're back, baby. So you'll be hearing from us more.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.